Ladies and gentlemen, look around you. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you feel, it's all energy. The thoughts in your mind, the emotions in your body, the people around you, and even the problems you face. It's all vibrating, shifting, moving. And here's the part that most people never realize. You are the center of it all. You are not just living in this world. The world is living in you. The life you experience is not something happening to you, it's something happening because of you. Every moment, with every thought, with every breath, you are shaping reality. But the question is, are you doing it consciously, or are you being dragged by the currents of the unconscious? Most people live like leaves in the wind, tossed around by external circumstances, trapped in reaction, blaming the world for their suffering. They focus on fixing the outside, never realizing the power was inside all along. If you don't understand this, you will spend your entire life chasing shadows, mistaking illusions for reality, and wondering why peace always feels just out of reach. But if you stay with me, if you listen closely, I'll show you how to step out of the illusion and take back control. Not through force, not through struggle, but through understanding, through a shift so profound yet so simple that once you see it, you can never unsee it. Because once you understand that everything is energy and that your focus directs that energy, you will realize that you were the creator all along. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded with distractions, news, notifications, opinions, problems. The world demands our attention, and most people give it away freely without ever questioning, where is my energy going? What am I feeding with my focus? And yet this is the secret most never understand. What you focus on, you become. If you constantly dwell on problems, you amplify them. If you obsess over the opinions of others, you become enslaved to them. If you chase happiness outside yourself, you reinforce the idea that you are incomplete. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when you take all that energy and turn it inward? When you stop trying to fix the world and start mastering the way you see it, something remarkable happens. The noise begins to fade. The illusion of control over the external dissolves, and in its place a deeper, more powerful realization emerges. You are the source. You don't need to fight life. You don't need to resist what is. When you tune into your own energy, when you align with the flow of life rather than against it, things start to move effortlessly. Problems begin to solve themselves, not because the world changes, but because you change the way you see it. So the question is not, how can I change the world? The real question is, how can I master myself? The world will never stop being chaotic. People will always have opinions. Situations will always arise. But if you focus on yourself, if you become the eye of the storm, everything else becomes irrelevant. You become untouchable. Because in the end, everything is energy, and energy moves where attention flows. So where is your focus? From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that life happens to us. We are taught that success is measured by external achievements, that happiness is something we must chase, and that our worth is determined by how others perceive us. This conditioning shapes the way we see the world, creating the illusion that control exists outside of us. We grow up believing that if we can just manipulate circumstances, if we can earn more, achieve more, gain more approval, then, and only then, will we find peace. But this is the great deception, the trick that keeps people trapped in an endless cycle of seeking. The truth is, no matter how much you acquire, no matter how much you try to fix the outside, you will never find lasting fulfillment because the source of your experience has always been within. Everything you perceive, every joy, every sorrow, every frustration, is not coming from the world itself, but from the way your mind interprets it. Two people can face the same situation, yet one suffers while the other remains unaffected. Why? Because the suffering is not in the event, it is in the perception of the event. And this is where the real power lies. When you stop believing that your happiness, your success, your peace of mind depend on something external, you reclaim the energy you have been wasting trying to control the uncontrollable. You begin to see that life was never against you, nor was it something to be conquered. It is simply a mirror reflecting back the state of your own being. The moment you turn inward, the moment you shift your focus away from controlling the outside and instead master your own mind, the illusion collapses and true freedom begins. Everything in existence is energy. The thoughts in your mind, the emotions in your body, the people you interact with, each one is a vibration, a frequency, a movement of energy. But here's what most people never realize. Energy follows attention. Wherever you place your focus, that's what grows. Think of your mind as a garden. If you constantly focus on fear, doubt, and limitations, you are watering the weeds. If you dwell on problems, they expand. If you obsess over the opinions of others, you give them power over you. But the opposite is also true. When you focus on growth, peace, and mastery, those aspects of your life begin to flourish. This is why focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. If your own energy is chaotic, everything around you will reflect that chaos. If your mind is filled with negativity, your reality will mirror it. The world you see is not separate from you. It is shaped by the lens through which you view it. The key then is not to fight the outside world, but to become aware of where your energy is flowing. Instead of reacting to everything that pulls at your attention, step back and ask, is this worth my energy? Is this thought, this situation, this person something I want to invest in? Because once you understand that your focus is your power, you stop wasting energy on distractions, and you begin to create your life deliberately. Who are you? Really, who is the you that you believe yourself to be? Is it your name, your past, your achievements, or the way others see you? Most people go through life identifying with a story, an idea of themselves, built from memories, labels, and societal expectations. But this identity is nothing more than a mental construct, a collection of borrowed beliefs that keep you trapped in a cycle of limitation. The truth is, you are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your experiences. You are the awareness that witnesses them. Thoughts arise and pass, emotions come and go, even the body changes over time. Yet something remains constant, the observer, the presence that watches it all. This presence is the real you, beyond the labels, beyond the roles you play. But here's where most people get stuck. They cling to their false identity, defending it, reinforcing it, even suffering for it. They say, I'm this kind of person, or I've always been this way, as if their past defines their future. But that is the greatest illusion, because in reality, you are as fluid as the energy you choose to embody. When you step back from the idea of who you are and simply observe, you realize something powerful. You are not fixed, you are not limited, and you are not bound by any identity unless you choose to be. When you stop playing the game of false identity, you become free to shape yourself in any way you wish, and that is the beginning of true power. The world is a storm, loud, unpredictable, and ever-changing. People are constantly caught in the currents of drama, fear, and endless distractions. They chase fleeting desires, react to every disturbance, and wonder why they feel exhausted. But what if I told you that you don't have to be a part of this chaos? What if, instead of getting lost in the storm, you could become the eye of it, calm, unshaken, and completely in control? Most suffering comes not from what happens, but from our resistance to it. When things don't go as planned, we fight reality, we react, we cling to expectations. But the world will always be unpredictable. People will always have opinions. Events will unfold beyond your control. The real question is, will you allow yourself to be disturbed by it? Detachment is not about indifference, it's about mastery. It's the ability to engage with the world without being consumed by it. It's seeing chaos without becoming chaotic. It's understanding that external events do not dictate your inner state, only your focus does. So step back, observe the noise without being pulled in. The less you react, the more power you have. When you detach from the chaos, you stop being a puppet of the world and start becoming the master of your own energy. Most people spend their lives resisting change, resisting uncertainty, resisting anything that doesn't align with their expectations. And yet, the more you resist life, the more life pushes back. This is why struggle feels endless, because you are fighting the very nature of existence itself. But what happens when you stop resisting? What happens when, instead of trying to force life into your plan, you align yourself with its natural rhythm? Something incredible takes place. Things begin to unfold effortlessly. Opportunities arise without struggle. Solutions reveal themselves without force. Life moves through you instead of against you. This is the essence of flow, the state where energy moves freely without resistance. When you embody flow, you no longer waste energy on pointless battles. You stop forcing connections, chasing outcomes, or trying to control things that are beyond you. Instead, you move with life, adapting, shifting, allowing. And in doing so, you discover that everything you once struggled for comes to you naturally. The secret is simple. Stop resisting. Start allowing. Trust the unfolding. Flow with it, not against it. The less you control, the more power you actually have. Because the moment you surrender to the movement of life, you realize that you were never separate from it. You were it all along. We live in a world obsessed with doing, achieving, proving, chasing. People believe that the more they do, the more they will become, but this is an illusion. The more you chase, the more you reinforce the idea that you are lacking. The more you try to become something, the more you tell yourself that you are not enough as you are. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do is not to seek, not to chase, but to simply be? Everything you desire, peace, confidence, fulfillment, is not something outside of you. It is something you already are, beneath all the noise. You don't need to force yourself into becoming something greater. You simply need to remove everything that is not you, every false belief, every unnecessary attachment, every thought that tells you you are not already whole. When you stop trying to be something and simply allow yourself to exist fully in the present, something incredible happens. You tap into a power far greater than effort, a power that comes from presence itself. The mind slows down. The weight of expectations dissolves, and suddenly everything you were chasing begins to move toward you effortlessly. Because the truth is, you were never incomplete. You were never lacking. You were just too distracted to see that everything you've been searching for has always been right here in this moment, waiting for you to notice. So in the end, the question is not, how do I change the world? The real question is, how do I change the way I see it? The world will always be chaotic, people will always have opinions, circumstances will always shift, but you are the constant, the observer, the one who decides where to place your energy. If you spend your life reacting, chasing, and resisting, you will always feel like a prisoner of circumstances. But the moment you turn inward, the moment you stop giving your energy away to distractions and instead focus on mastering yourself, everything changes. You don't need to control life. You don't need to force anything. You only need to realize that everything you seek is already within you. The energy you put out shapes your reality. The focus you choose determines what grows. The more you align with yourself, the more life aligns with you. So let go of the noise, detach from the illusion, shift your focus inward, and watch as everything begins to flow in a way you never thought possible. Because in the end, everything is energy, and you are the one directing it.